been a few days, but it's about time to get back on the sawmill again, don't you think? Well, I got a metric Allen wrench, and it seemed pretty sloppy. So I went back and got some American ones. I think they call them imperial size. So I don't know. But this one feels tighter than the metric one did. The metric one would work, but see how loose that is? Oh, that one's pretty loose too. So I do not know. $19 millimeter, 18 millimeter. Doesn't give me a torque spec. So I'm going to try not to over tighten. I got the stops adjusted here so they're equal. Yep. Now let's push it on the other and adjust the other end. Yeah, those are pretty close. So I loosened these guides up to install this, so now I've put them back into position. And I'm tightening them back up. Okay, let's see now. So the book says the next thing we're supposed to do is measure our blade to the bunks to get that level. But I'm going to do something that doesn't mention. Just check that. It's pretty level. I know I've done a lot of work on this track to get it level, but it's been a while since I checked it. Still looks good. So what I want to do here, I want to get that about 5 inches. Let's see, what is that? Usually it tells you how thick these are, but I'd say that's a couple inches. So let's see. We'll crank that down so there somewhere. This side's got to go down a little. All right, so this tool should work. All right, let's see. Let's see how that works. Just above 5. Just above 5. It's just about perfect. And in a second it will be. All right. So I'll hold the turnbuckle solid. And tighten the lock nut. All right. And we're going to do the same thing with the bottom one. I'm pretty sure it's pretty important that these are nice and tight. Okay, one more time. See? Well, looks pretty good. We'll see what happens when we start working on everything. So this is where you tighten the blade up. The instructions say to use waterproof grease on it. And I see it's already had grease on it. It also says to make sure you loosen it up. But it was shipped tight. And so I didn't monkey with it. So it's been sitting here tight. It says that may cause flat spots on your belts. So we'll see when I start her up if she's clunking. That'll be the reason. Let's get some grease on this right here too. So recommended blade tension, 2.5 to 3 turns, full turns from snug. Well, whatever snug means. That's pretty subjective. So there's also a torque spec that I've seen. So we'll try the turns to snug to start with. These also are supposed to be greased, since this is something you use all the time. Just sitting on here, I see they've got a little rust on them. Well, I thought I was going to get it started today, but as it turns out, I got to go get some oil. I thought I had oil here. Yeah, looks like rain. It's kind of getting late in the afternoon here. Okay. I think we're going to leave her just like that. And, well, I better not leave these wrenches out here. If I do, I'll forget where they're at if I don't get back on this first thing in the morning. But I think I'll head into town in the morning and get some oil. And I've got a couple gallons of gasoline, but I'll get some more. supposed to take, well, it doesn't, I'm going to use unleaded or gasoline without any ethanol in it. They call it Rec 90 around here, or Rec 89. It's recreational fuel. And I tried to use that on all my small engines. So the next job is to set the blade tension. It says to snug it up. That's pretty subjective, but I'm going to say that's snug right there. And then 2.5 to 3 turns. So that's 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Now there's also a torque setting, and I'll be checking that, but we're going to start right here. Seems awful tight to me, but I don't know anything about it. So let's pull the blade through a couple times, and then we're going to try to check and see that blade was sitting there tight. It has definitely put some spots in the belt. And I don't know why they had it tight rather than just snug. But that's the way they shipped it. And since I hadn't got to that part of the instructions, I didn't read that. Okay. So it's time to check and adjust the tracking. So you were supposed to loosen up these guide blocks here, which I did. And then there's a guide block behind it, a roller. I don't know if you can see this, but it has a bolt there. You loosen that bolt up and you can push that back out of the way. Same way with the other side. Okay, so now I got to move it by hand the direction it normally travels and see how it's tracking. Okay. This procedure is pretty tough. It's not for the faint of heart, but eventually I did finally get it. I don't know how many times I tried. I lost count. To adjust the tracking, you actually have to tilt the wheels, and that's the tricky part. You have to do it over and over again. Well, everything is adjusted. Oil test good. It's time to start it. Oops. Stupid gas cans. Whoever thought these fancy gas cans would cause less gas to be spilled, enter into the atmosphere was a real idiot. Probably somebody lives in a city, like in California somewhere. Okay. Fuel on. Choked. All right, so we ran it a little bit. I want to check my blade, make sure that it's not coming off before we start it up and run some more. Looks like she's running right where she was. Started up good. Okay, now it's time to look at the instructions a little more and see what it says about breaking in. Ta-da! Finally.